Folks, it's Fernando doing our video for the Modern Survivalist, and this is going to be a little bit of a story time video. And I wish I could have gotten this on tape, at least with my cell phone. Now the thing is, at that moment there were other more serious concerns than doing a YouTube video. I mean, I wish I could have shown what happened to my wife as well with the phone, but you know, this will have to do. Now, the thing is that this really illustrates well how the proper mindset really can save the day, and how little inconveniences can become more serious ones, and little emergencies can become actually life-threatening ones. So, as some of you probably know already, I'm currently living in Spain, in what's called the Costa del Sol. That's the southern part of Spain, that, you know, the coast with the Mediterranean. I'm close to Malaga, but I'm actually in a town called Fuengirola. Not in the town itself, a little bit further away, still on the beach, maybe 300 yards from the beach. I don't know, but very close. I actually see it from my window right now. So the thing is that it's in the mountain. So when there's big storms, there's always the thing about landslides and flash floods. Those are realistic things to be concerned about where I am now. So it had been raining for like all week long. I mean, in ways that I've never even seen, even in Argentina, which is tropical climate. I've never seen so much rain non-stop all day long, and even people here were kind of freaking out about it. So so rain all week long. Now the thing is, I had a delivery from the flashlights that I recently reviewed, the Lumen Top, and once I have the box over there, and it had been delivered to me before, but there was a mix-up, and they actually ended up sending it back to Hong Kong like 3 weeks ago. So this second time, I just didn't want to have anything like that happen, and I couldn't wait anymore. I just had to go. And you know, there wasn't anything like on the news in terms of landslides or floods or anything serious at all. So I said, what the hell, I'm going with my car. And that's maybe the key part of this video, how the selection of your vehicle, and this isn't something that I'm just saying right now in this video. I have it in both my books, actually. My first one from 2008, the Modern Survival Manual, I say the exact same thing. When talking, I was just reading it right now just to make sure not screwing up anything, but it's the exact same thing I've always said. In choosing your vehicle, 2008, I said the exact same thing. In my second book, the exact same philosophy, the way I at least conceive modern survivalism, the exact same idea of what your vehicle should be. This is in fact my old car, my old Honda CR-V. Now I have newer generation, but still Honda, still a CR-V, because it's the kind of thing that I think gets that sweet spot of being a car that's, you know, first of all, it's very conspicuous. It's like the soccer mom typical car, yet it has good enough space, and it has that option of, if you ever need all-wheel drive, it has that option in the car. So it's a limited capability in terms of off-road, but you know, if you ever end up needing it, you're going to be having it, and chances are you're not going to be needing something that is. And again, stuff that I've covered in the book, I explain actually that you don't always need something like this, like a Land Rover Defender, a super tricked out vehicle for, you know, actual off-roading, which is like a sporting activity. Usually you're good enough with something that has somewhat of an off-road capability like this vehicle. So having said all this for many years, this is exactly, I mean, I do what I say. It's not as if I have a different separate life. I mean, this is what I actually do myself. So with that philosophy, I chose my vehicle, and when I had to go pick up this delivery, you know, man, it's like 10-15 minutes away, and it's all, you know, perfectly good roads. You wouldn't be expecting any trouble. So I get in my Honda CR-V, and I start going right to this place. Now, as I was saying, I live in somewhat of a, you know, pretty steep, so I have to actually go down the mountain a little bit. And soon enough, I see, of course, it's raining like cats and dogs and all that sort of stuff. And as soon as I get to the first little roundabout, there's a car in front of me, one of these little sedans that just freezes there in place. I go, what? I mean, it's just a little bit of rain, no big deal, right? Well, then I understand why the guy has stopped all of a sudden. The side of the mountain had, slided all over the place, and what used to be a perfectly paved roundabout now became a little bit of an off-road challenge. No big deal. The little car bumped its way through it. Mine did just as well. No problem. Any car would have gotten through that. So no problem. I get to the town center. I find a little place to park. Get all wet when I go pick up my Lumen Top flashlights. Get back in the car, start driving back home, right? Now, when I'm driving back home, I'm actually, going along the coast, and I reach where my home is. I have to start going up the mountain a little bit, but there's a barber shop. There's a shop there that cuts your hair, and I want to do that for some time now. And I see that it's open. Since it's raining so much, I think there's no one there. I'm gonna be getting in quick, getting my hair cut, and back home. I do that, go get my hair cut, as you see, and when I go back to the car, I notice that things are already flooding. Flooding on the coast. And, again, that little thing of the modern survival mindset, the way in which you filter every single decision. I'm wearing, I have my high-tech jacket with a hoodie, and my shoes are my daily shoes. My daily shoes these days are Salomon waterproof Gore-Tex shoes. So even with a little bit of a puddle, no big deal. I step on it, nothing happens. I don't get my little feet wet, so I'm perfectly fine. That little thing of not getting your feet wet, it's really no big deal. No one's going to be dying for that. But when you do this in every single decision you make, you have a leverage, you have the advantage when things get a little bit more complicated. And things were about to get a lot more complicated. I turn around on the same roundabout that I saw the landslide, where there was mud and gravel and rocks, in the middle of the road. And now it's no longer the issue. The issue is the river that had become the street just flooding its way, and the ground is already very flooded. I mean, it's almost not as high as a tire, because if that was the case, it should have been the car should have started to float. A car in front of me, I think it was an all-wheel drive vehicle. It gets through it. It gets through the flooded roundabout. Mine does as well. Now, I'm not worried so much about my car. I'm worried about the car in front of me getting stuck, and me not having a way of getting through that. The car does go through it, takes the roundabout, gets off there. Now, as soon as I turn right, I have another damn river that was the street. The street was like a waterfall. I start going up, and the water starts hitting the car as I go up the hill. I'm telling you, if it had been something else, I don't think it would have made it through, because it was impressive. Again, I wish I could have gotten that on tape, but it was me going up the hill with the all-wheel drive, a little humble Honda CR-V on first gear, going up. It's a diesel, so it has a good amount of torque going up, and the water just hitting me there and going up on the sides. This is maybe like 50, 60 meters or yards, give or take. But those seconds were, I was worried that the car would start I was worried about ending up in the middle of the Mediterranean, because it was so strong, the current. Make it up all the way, turn left, and there I have yet another flooded section where, again, this was more landslide, more rocks and debris on the streets and water. I go around that little part, and I see a freaking tree fallen in the middle of the road. It was like, let me explain this. It's a street that is like 2 cars wide, all right? And the tree was, fallen in the middle. I drove sort of like on the top of the tree. So imagine if this is the road, all right, the tree was like this. I drove through the top of the tree that has more of thinner branches and leaves stuff. Just drove through that. I keep on going up because I have a little more of a section, and when I get to the top, I see that again what used to be like dirt and rock wall was no more. It had all caved in, and it was a little waterfall there with a little river of its own dropping. Make it through that last turn, and well, that was it. That was the end of the little adventure. Now the thing is, these little adventures can actually get you killed in some cases, because these little adventures are the ones that, if the car no longer has grip on the road, that's it for you, because especially on a mountains, you're gonna be sliding down to God knows where. It becomes very, very dangerous. I mean, every year people actually die here, especially because they don't either many tourists around the area, so they don't know which parts are more dangerous than others, and maybe they even park on the dry rivers, and all of a sudden a rain like this, I mean, it may be perfectly fine and in sun is shining here, but if it's raining on the mountains, the water, the flash flood just drowns people without them even realizing that there's water coming, because there's no signs of that in this area. So just that little bit of, little experience. I wish would have been great to get it on tape and that, but I'm not walking around all day long with a little camcorder, which I actually have to change because this one is not working very well. Folks, that's gonna be all for now, but again, the importance of the right mindset. If you're interested in the books, both of them are available in Amazon, Modern Survival Manual and Bugging Out and Relocations. As always, the links are below if you're thinking of getting that for these holidays and whatnot. That's gonna be all for now. Remember to subscribe. Take care. See you on the next video.